Welcome to Module 4, Section 8 of your California Contractor License Exam Prep Course. In this final section of the module, we'll cover 3 essential legal and financial protections that every licensed contractor must understand and manage properly: insurance, bonding, and mechanics liens. These are not just bureaucratic boxes to check. They directly impact your ability to get licensed, stay compliant, and protect your business and your clients when things go wrong. Let's start with insurance. In California, licensed contractors are required to carry different types of insurance depending on their business structure and whether they have employees. The most common and mandatory type is workers' compensation insurance. This is legally required for any contractor with employees, even one part-time or seasonal worker. Workers' comp covers medical expenses, lost wages, and rehabilitation for employees who are injured or become ill as a result of their work. If you don't carry this insurance and you're found to have employees, the CSLB can suspend your license and issue major fines. Even if your workers are not on payroll, if you control how they do their work, the state may still classify them as employees, which would trigger the requirement for workers' compensation. If you do not have any employees, you must submit a workers' compensation exemption form to CSLB. This exemption only applies as long as you truly have no employees. Once you hire someone, even temporarily, your exemption is no longer valid and you must obtain a policy immediately. Another important type of insurance is general liability insurance. This covers third-party claims of bodily injury or property damage caused by your work. It's not legally required by the CSLB for licensure, but many clients, especially commercial and public entities, require it as a condition of hiring. It's also a smart business practice. A single accident, like water damage caused by a plumbing error, could result in tens of thousands of dollars in claims. Without general liability insurance, your business and even your personal assets could be at risk. Other optional but useful insurance types include tools and equipment coverage, commercial auto insurance, and professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions coverage. Talk to an insurance broker who specializes in construction businesses to make sure you're adequately covered based on the size and nature of your projects. Now let's discuss contractor bonds, which are required by CSLB for all active license holders. A contractor's bond is a financial guarantee that protects the public, your clients, and employees in case you violate license law or fail to fulfill a contract. The most common type is the $25,000 contractor license bond, which is required for all active licenses. This bond must be issued by a surety company licensed to operate in California and must remain active at all times. If your bond is canceled or lapses, your license will be automatically suspended by CSLB until a new bond is filed. The bond is not insurance for the contractor, it's protection for the public. If you perform defective work, abandon a job, fail to pay employees, or violate the law in a way that causes financial harm, the injured party may file a claim against your bond. If the surety company pays out the claim, they will pursue reimbursement from you directly. There are also additional bond requirements depending on your situation. For example, if you have employees, you may need a $100,000 bond of qualifying individual, BQI, or a disciplinary bond if your license has been previously revoked. Make sure your bonds are current, accurate, and issued under the correct license number and name. Finally, let's cover mechanics liens. A mechanics lien is a powerful legal tool that allows contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, and laborers to secure payment for work performed or materials provided on a property. If a client fails to pay you for completed work, you have the right to place a lien on the property, essentially claiming a legal interest in the property until the debt is paid. However, the mechanics lien process is strictly regulated and must be followed exactly to be enforceable. The first step is usually serving a preliminary 20-day notice. This notice must be sent to the property owner, general contractor, and lender, if applicable, within 20 days of starting work or delivering materials. It preserves your right to later file a lien if you don't get paid. If payment is not received, you can file a claim of lien with the county recorder's office. This must be done within 90 days of completing the work, or within 60 days if a notice of completion is filed by the owner. After the lien is filed, you must enforce it by filing a lawsuit within 90 days, or the lien becomes invalid. Mechanics liens are a double-edged sword. They can help you get paid, but they can also backfire if used improperly. Filing a fraudulent or incorrect lien can result in legal penalties. It's important to follow the procedures carefully and consult a construction attorney if needed. Always document the work performed, the contract terms, and communication with the client, especially if payment becomes an issue. On the CSLB Law and Business exam, you'll likely face questions about when workers' comp is required, how contractor bonds work, and what the correct timeline is for mechanics lien filings. You don't need to be a legal expert, but you do need to know the basic rules to avoid costly mistakes. In summary, insurance protects your business, your workers, and your clients. Workers' comp is mandatory if you have employees. General liability is smart to carry even if not required. Contractor bonds are mandatory and must remain active. Mechanics liens give you leverage to get paid, but must be handled carefully and legally. Mastering these three tools will help you build a contracting business that's financially secure, legally protected, and trusted by clients.